Sawadee Tuk Konka, Dajahao, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Yeah. In today's video, I am looking at the question of transracial. Is it a thing? Can it be a thing? And what are my views as a mixed race person? Drop down below what you think to this question as well. So this video has been sparked by Oli London's recent video in which Oli came out as Korean.
I do identify as Korean.
Now there was a lot of backlash from that. It is actually quite surprising that some British news has gone international like this and it's not related to the royal family or politics. Oli London's coming out video is not actually big news here. It really isn't. Clearly the British public were like, we cannot even right now. We have too much on our plate. We have COVID. We have releasing from lockdown. We have, are we wearing masks? Are we not wearing masks? Can we go on holiday? Can we not go on holiday? To go on holiday in Devon is like 10 grand for 2 days. We've got a lot going on in the UK at the moment. The first thing I thought about when thinking of the question of is transracial a thing, can it be a thing, is, well, what does transracial mean? And then I had a Googles, and the definition of transracial is someone who asserts a different racial identity from the one they are born with. This is not a new concept like Rachel Dolezal, I don't know if I pronounced that wrong.
And the essential essence of who I am is best defined in culture and race terms as black.
It's just that this is a different race we're seeing, because I think 9 out of 10 is normally some form of blackface that we see, whereas this time it's someone who is saying that they are Asian. Well, more specifically Korean. I also looked at race, and race, a population that is distinct in some way, and a lot of the definitions mentioned a shared physical characteristic, for example eyes, skin colour, etc. Oli London has come out as Korean. The thing that kind of doesn't make sense to me is Oli said that they are Korean and that means that they are transracial. But Korean isn't a race. Korean is a nationality. So again, this is something I see a lot where we're seeing people try and use nationality and race interchangeably, but they're not. They're completely different things. And so race is down to someone's physical characteristics, being able to identify people based on how they physically look. And then of course we have nationality, which is the identifier for where you're born, the actual country in which you're born. So Korea is a country, and therefore to be Korean is a nationality, but the race would be Asian. If Oli London had come out and said, I am now Asian because I'm transracial, then okay, there's an argument there. But to say I'm Korean, that's a nationality, that's not a race. To be Korean or to be any nationality, we can all do that. We can all change. It's just normal citizenship procedures that you'd have to go through. You wouldn't be born Korean or born British or born whatever it is, but you would have that nationality. I don't agree that we can just change our nationality without going through the legal channels. Then looking at, could we change our race to a different one? It really did make me think, especially because as someone who fits between two defined races, be it that is black and white, it did make me think about the idea of race. And a lot of people, including myself, talk about how race itself is this social construct. And I myself have said, why can't we change it to allow mixed race to have its own group? I've said that in multiple videos. But that does then leave the door open to, if it is a social construct, then why can't I construct myself to fit in to a different race? And that is a reality that we are having to face. When I was looking at the definition, and all of them said that it's defined by your physical appearance. I didn't find a definition that said it is to do with your DNA, it is to do with how you are genetically made. And that did surprise me, because I did think that that would have played a bigger role in the official definitions I saw. As a mixed race person, that is quite comical, because mixed race people we do not look the same. Depending on your mix, depending just on how you come out, we look different. We look so different. I have friends that is what you would say is white passing. They look white. Unless you knew that they had black in them, you would not believe they were anything but white. So their physical appearance is white. So does that make them white? The idea of race only coming down to physical appearance doesn't sit right with me, and I wish that there was a bit more to do with your actual sort of DNA. And had that been in the definition, had part of race and what your race is to do with how you're genetically made, then of course it would be very, very difficult to then argue that, well, I can just change races, because are you gonna be able to change your DNA makeup? Whereas at the moment, race stands as your physical appearance. So arguably Oli London has changed their physical appearance, and so could potentially have grounds to say, well, I now share these physical appearances with the people from this racial group, so why can't I be part of that as well? Do I agree with it? No. I don't think that we should be able to just change our race depending on how we feel. We shouldn't be able to go to the doctor and say, hey, I want to be this race, do your magic. I don't think that is right, and I think what it can lead to, if we are not careful, could be a watering down and an erasure of culture. Now, I'm not saying this in terms of we should gatekeep cultures, because I for one think cultural appreciation is a beautiful thing. I think it's beautiful when we share in our cultures. But if we then say, well, the benchmark for now being a certain race is you just have to look like you're in that race, then what that is going to do is going to result in people who don't belong in those places being in those places. Surely that's just like a version of blackface. I think we need to be very, very careful when it comes to what or how a person can change their appearance to then fit into that group. Overall, for me, in relation to transracial and can or should transracial be a thing, my opinion is no. I don't think it should be a thing. I think that we also need to be very careful in distinguishing between loving and appreciating a culture and being obsessed with a culture. Because, for example, as you heard with my intro, I said hello in Thai and Chinese and English. You can hear in my voice, I'm very clearly a native English speaker. I am not Thai and I am not Chinese. My point is, I enjoy speaking the languages. That doesn't mean I want to be those things. I'm very happy in my skin. That is, I believe anyway, a cultural appreciation compared to an obsession, which would be me suddenly denying where I was born, denying that I am English, then being obsessed to the point where it's then no longer healthy. Are you appreciating a culture, or are you becoming unhealthily obsessed to the point of losing who you are and what makes you you? Put down below what your answer is to the question, can we change our race? I'm very, very interested to know. Please, please, please though, no hate towards Oli London in the comments. You can disagree with someone, but that doesn't mean you need to attack someone. No, no, not on this channel. Please and thank you. If there are other topics that you'd love to hear my perspective on, then please do drop suggestions down below. Otherwise, please smash the like, the share and the subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. And until next time, have a blessed day. Sawadee tuk kong ka. Zaijian. Goodbye everyone.